Which one of you needs to be host?
It is I.
I
Thank you,
just need
ma'am.
co-host.
I'm going to switch it to you, and then if you would switch me back to co-host, please.
Absolutely.
Thank you, ma'am. And I updated and see that we're back to or down to 77 cases.
Hey, Judge. Hey, Judge.
Excuse me, Judge.
thousands of people around the world, decided to open his own online casino where
All
everyone.
right.
In one of his videos,
Hello.
he showed us his.
So,
Mhm.
take your time, Michael.
Good morning. This is Judge Martin. This is courtroom number 1. Today's docket is landlord tenant. If you do not have a landlord tenant case, you may be in the wrong place. You may send a message to either Carly or Malachi, and they will help you find out where you are supposed to be. At about 9:15, there will be a short video played that explains the legal rights you have available to you. At the conclusion of that hearing,
that hard
every case,
to violently throw. Yeah, or he's choking on that clown.
ma'am, if you don't mute yourself, you will be removed. Every case will be called, and you will have an opportunity for the landlord and tenant to meet. If you reach an agreement this morning, we will place the terms of that agreement on the record. If you do not reach an agreement, your case will be adjourned to next Wednesday, March the 20th. If you receive an invite or a pop-up to go into a breakout room, please go there. Good morning. This is Judge Martin. This is courtroom 1. At about 9:15 this morning, there will be a video that plays that explains the legal rights you have available to you in this landlord-tenant matter. At the end of the video, each case that is scheduled will be called. When your case is called, please have your video on, unmute yourself, and be prepared to state your name for the record. If you wish to speak to Lakeshore Legal Aid, there will be representatives available. You will be moved into a breakout room and have the opportunity to speak with them. If you would like to speak with the landlord's attorney, there will be private space available for you to speak to that person as well. If you have made an application for rental assistance, there is a form that you will need to complete and file with the court. Other than that, again, please be patient. Every case will be called. We will play the video at approximately 9:15. Thank you. And Carly, I need you to reset me, please.
Who did? We both did. You came out and helped me and you never went back in out. You normally go back out and do it and you didn't. Yep.
And then he just finally came back through the door and I think I found he was gone. But the gate was wide. Yeah, but whatever, whatever.
Good morning. Today is March the 13th. My name is Judge Martin. This is courtroom number 1. Today is the day for the first hearings in these landlord-tenant matters. In just a moment, there will be a short video that plays that explains the legal rights available in this morning's proceedings. At the end of the video, each case will be called. You will be expected to unmute yourself, turn your video on, and state your name for the record. Tenants, you will then have an opportunity, if you wish, to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid. If you wish to speak directly to the attorney representing your landlord, you will be moved into a breakout room to speak with that person. If you made application for rental assistance, there is a form that you will need to complete and submit to the court. Other than that, Carly, if you would start the video, if you're wearing a hat, take your cap off. This is court. Thank you.
Welcome to the 34th District Court. Please listen carefully for information about your rights and resources that may be available to assist you. Please have paper and a pen handy. You have the right to hire an attorney to represent you. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you may qualify for legal aid assistance. There may be a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid available today to speak with you, or you can contact them at 888-783-8190. You have the right to have your case heard in the proper venue. If the property is not located in the 34th District, you can ask the court to transfer your case to the district where the property, or any part of it, is located. You have the right to demand a jury trial. If you want a jury trial, you must tell the court today or make the demand in writing within 5 days of today's hearing. You can use Form MC-22 Jury Demand and file it with the court. You must pay $50 when you make your demand, or within 5 days of the court advising you of this right. You do not have to pay the jury fee if you have asked the court to waive fees and the court has approved your request under MCR 2.002. If your landlord has asked for you to be evicted from a residential property because you haven't paid rent, you may be able to get assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, MDHHS, a local coordinated entry agency, a housing assessment and resource agency, or a federal Help for Homeless Veterans program. You should have received information on local rental and housing assistance with the summons. You do not need a judgment against you to receive help from the places listed above. A copy of the summons and complaint from your case are enough. If your case is for non-payment and you have already applied for assistance from one of these agencies, be sure to let the court clerk or the judge know when your case is called. You will be required to submit written proof to the court within 5 days of today's hearing. Your landlord-tenant case can be resolved in a number of ways. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through a Michigan or local community dispute resolution program. You can find a program at courts.my.gov/CDRP. You may also reach an agreement with the landlord that will mean the case gets dismissed. A conditional dismissal is possible when approved by all parties. You can use Form DC 508, Consent Order for Conditional Dismissal, Landlord-Tenant, and file it with the court. Information about your other rights and the legal process is available through Michigan Legal Help at www.michiganlegalhelp.org. Additional information on legal resources, housing assistance programs, and court forms are available on our website at www.mi34thdistrictcourt.com/department/civil. Thank you for your attention. Your case will be called shortly.
This is 2401483LT Belleville Point versus Kenya Williams and Linda Williams. Please state your names for the record.
Morning, Judge Christopher Asphalt, 53129 on behalf of the plaintiff.
Hello,
State your name, ma'am.
hi, I'm Linda Williams.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Have you made an application for rental assistance?
No,
Would you like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid this morning?
no, ma'am.
Would you like the opportunity to speak to the representative for Belleville Point?
Oh, the lawyer?
We're gonna send them.
The lawyer who represents your apartment complex, ma'am.
Must be removed from the property immediately.
Sure.
I'm sorry, who is that? Who is that in the background?
Oh, you can give me that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, they said they're sorry. I'm in the office.
Okay, ma'am, I'm asking you, Ms. Williams, did you want to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
Do you want to speak to anybody?
Well, is it just,
I mean, she's talking, asking if you want.
no, I know, but I'm saying, is it this gentleman here?
No, I think it's
Oh.
the very top corner one.
No, I'm sorry.
Ms. Williams, okay, the question is, there is representation available to you possibly through Lakeshore Legal Aid. Do you want to speak to one of those attorneys? And if your answer is no, we'll move you into a room where you'll be able to speak to someone who represents the landlord to see if you're able to resolve the matter. Which would you
Okay.
like to do?
I would like to wait and resolve the matter.
Thank you. The court
Yes, ma'am.
staff will send an invitation for you to go into a breakout room. Mr. Asphalt or someone for Belleville Point will be there momentarily, okay?
Okay, thank you for your time.
And ma'am, where is Kenya Williams?
He is at work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is 2401484LT Belleville Point versus Lacenta Hall and Zakia Parnell. Mr. Asphalt, I note your appearance.
Yes, Christopher Asphalt for the plaintiff.
Hi, right here. Listen, Hall, present.
Ma'am, have you made an application for rental assistance?
Yes.
Have you submitted the form DC 539?
No.
Would you like the opportunity to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid this morning?
Sure. Zakia
Ma'am,
Parnell's
two thi-
present. I apologize. My camera isn't allowing me to turn on.
Okay. Would you like, that you said you would like the opportunity to speak to somebody from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
Yes.
Ma'am, two things will happen. First, you need to file that form, the DC 539, within 5 days of today's date. The form is in the chat. or we can move you into a breakout room to meet with court staff. You will be moved into a room to speak to someone from Lakeshore Legal Aid, and your case will be adjourned. Your new date will be March the 20th at 9:45 a.m. After you speak to Lakeshore, you do not need to come back into this main session, okay?
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Carly,
Judge,
please move
Judge, did you say 9:45? I missed that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Excuse me,
you.
can I be moved into the same?
That's absolutely, that's what I was starting to say before I was interrupted. I was asking court staff to move Ms. Hall and Ms. Parnell into the clerk's office to speak to someone about DC 539, and then moved into Lakeshore to meet with their representatives, and thereafter they're free to go.
And Mr. Asphalt, if I may, this is Danette McLemore from Lakeshore Legal Aid. Can you tell me how much is owed right now?
For Ms. Hall,
Yes.
2,501.
Okay, is there more than one case?
More
No,
than one case? No.
There's
no, I'm
two-
sorry, the second person.
There's two.
Okay, no, Ms. McLemore, respectfully, not in this main session. Mr.
I'm sorry.
Asphalt, after he moves into his breakout, if you want to move in there and speak to him, I'll have court, yep, you're already a co-host. You can speak to him, but I need to get through these other 20 cases from 9 o'clock. okay?
I apologize, Your Honor. I'm sorry. Thank you.
No worries, and I'll leave our breakout rooms open at the end of the docket. You can talk to Mr. Asphalt, the tenants there. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
2401487OT Belleville Point versus Shantae Johnson.
Yes, this is Shantae Johnson.
Ms. Johnson, have you made an application for rental assistance?
No,
Would you like to speak to someone from Lakeshore Legal Aid this morning?
no, I would like to speak to the attorney.
Then ma'am, you'll go into a breakout room. He'll be there momentarily to discuss the case with you, or someone from Belleville Point will be there, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. 2401488LT Waters Edge versus Brittany Scherer, Maurice Fakori, and Salam Shaja.
Hi, good morning. I'm here.
Who are you?
I'm Brittany.
Thank you. And the other two people?
Maurice is at work. I'm not sure where Salam is.
Have you made an application for rental assistance?
I had applied for an SER, but they denied me. And I just gave up on that.
Did you want to speak to Lakeshore Legal Aid before you meet with a representative for your landlord?
No, thank you.
Then ma'am, you'll be moved into a breakout room. Someone from Waters Edge or the attorney will be there momentarily to discuss the case with you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
2401625LT Tuscan Manor versus Gabriel Hawkins.
Hello. This is Gabriel Hawkins.
Thank you. Have you made an application for rental assistance?
No, ma'am.
Would you like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
No, ma'am.
Then we'll move you into a breakout room. Someone from either Tuscan Manor or the attorney will be there momentarily to discuss this matter with you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Asphalt, I believe that's all of your tenants that have checked in. Let's see, Calvin Jackson or China Furman, 2401482LT. Based on their failure to appear, Mr. Asphalt, how would you like to proceed?
I would request entry of a default judgment, Your Honor.
The amount due, sir?
The total amount, including all court costs, is $1,360.43.
Please submit your default judgment.
I will, thank you.
2401486LT Belleville Point versus Janice Randall. Janice Randall has failed to appear. How would you like to proceed, sir?
I would request entry of a default judgment. There's currently due and owing $1,862.73.
Thank you. Mr. Asphalt, entry of those default judgments are contingent upon your office providing proof that the service in these matters was done according to court rule. Other than that, please go into your breakout rooms. If you resolve the cases, please bring them out. We'll take them at the end of this 9 o'clock session.
Very good.
Thank you. 2401556 LT Willow Glen versus Danielle Reinhardt.
Good morning, Your Honor. John McCausland, representing Willow Glen.
Hi, this is Danielle Reinhardt.
Ms. Reinhardt, have you made application for rental assistance?
Yes, I applied for SCR. She went through with the application. She talked to the landlord yesterday, and they sent paperwork to her. So I'm just waiting to see what's going on with that.
Ma'am, would you like the opportunity to speak to someone from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
No. Is it
Then,
okay?
ma'am, what will happen next? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I do apologize. I was just asking if I could speak to the attorney.
Mr. McCausland will be in a breakout room momentarily, ma'am, but based on the fact you've made an application for rental assistance, this case will be adjourned to March the 20th at 9:45 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Court staff will move you into Mr. McCausland's breakout room. You're free to speak to him this morning.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. You're welcome. 2401563 LT Willow Glen versus China Robinson.
John McCausland for Willow
Yes.
Glen.
This is Kanai Robinson.
Thank you. Ma'am, have you made application for rental assistance?
No, I just paid the remaining balance.
You just what, ma'am?
I paid the remaining balance.
Mr. McCausland?
I'm not aware of that right now.
Yep, I paid the remaining balance.
Then Miss Robinson? We'll send
Yes.
you into a breakout room. If you have proof that you pay what's due to the landlord, Mr. McCausland will have a conversation with you, okay?
Yes, I have receipts and screenshots.
Absolutely. And then when you're done with him, you'll come back to this main session. If he's confirmed that payment, we'll take that resolution on the record, okay?
Right.
2401558 LT Willow Glen versus Jimmy Sudeth. Defendants failed to appear. How would you like to proceed, sir?
Mr. Sutter is on my screen. I see him. He's here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Mr. Sudeth? Oh, my sorry. State your name, sir.
Jimmy Sutter?
Sir, have you made application for rental assistance?
No, ma'am.
Would you like to speak to Lakeshore Legal Aid this morning?
No, ma'am.
We'll get you moved into a breakout room. Mr. McCausland will be there momentarily to discuss your case with you, okay?
Alrighty.
2401560 LT Willow Glen versus Rachelle Hales. No response. Mr. McCausland.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd move for entry of a default judgment. The current rent to retain possession is $850. Court costs are $191.93 for a total of $1,041.93. The writ should issue on or after March 25th if the amount isn't paid. This is a judgment for possession only.
Thank you, sir. Please submit your default judgment. Otherwise, I'll see you after you're done in your breakout room.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. 2401589 LT Belleville Manor versus Catherine Cady.
Good morning, Your Honor. Harold Goodstein, appearing on behalf of Belleville Manor. I believe that matter has been dismissed, Your Honor.
I did not see the dismissal when I checked this morning, but thank you for that update. I will make a note in our file.
No problem.
2401590 LT Belleville Manor versus Asia Gurley and Lucas Custer.
That matter has also been resolved, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Goodstein. 2401591 LT Belleville Manor versus Bella Jones and Damian Hoslander.
Yes, Your Honor.
Take your hat off and thank you. State your name for me.
Damian Hoslander.
Sir, do you know where Miss Jones is?
Yeah, she's at work. I'm on my way to work too, but she just couldn't be able to be on the phone at work.
Have you made application for rental assistance?
No, ma'am, I've made payments onto the rent and I have spoke with the people in the office of resolving the issue. So I would like to talk to the attorney.
We'll get you moved into the breakout room, okay?
Thank you.
He'll be there in a moment. 2401592 Belleville Manor versus Nicole Lopez and Zachary Jarvis.
That matter's been resolved, Your Honor.
You are wonderful. Thank you.
No problem.
2401593 Belleville Manor versus Tanya Lokes, Loucks.
That matter's also been resolved.
2401594 LT Belleville Manor versus Michelle Tennis, Cindy Boudry, and Ryan Tennis.
That's going forward.
Unmute yourself, state your names for me, please.
Cindy Boudry,
Ryan Tennis.
Michelle Tennis.
Thank you. Application for rental assistance.
Yes, I filed for an SCR, but I haven't heard anything back yet.
Would you like to speak to Lakeshore Legal Aid this morning?
No.
Ma'am, the next thing that needs to happen is you need to file a form that's called a DC 539 with the court. You need to do that within 5 days of today's date. You will be moved into a breakout room to meet with court staff that will help you get that form submitted. You have 5 days again to file that DC 539, and your case is being adjourned to March the 20th at 9:45 a.m. Notice will be mailed to you at the address we have on file.
Thank you.
I asked her about some addresses.
The address for what?
No, she said the form would be.
Be sent to this address.
No, the notice of the new hearing date will be mailed to you, but right now you'll see an invitation to go into a breakout room so court staff can help you locate that form, the DC 539. It's a newer form, okay?
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
2401595 Belleville Manor versus Elisa Vermette.
That matter's been resolved also, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Vermette, resolved with a dismissal, I'm guessing?
Correct.
Two four zero one six two four LT Harrison Enterprises versus Jarnes LLC and any occupants.
Good morning, Your Honor. Faith Gaudian on behalf of the plaintiff Harrison Enterprises LLC.
Thank you, Ms. Gaudian. I'm not hearing a response. I'm showing a posting and mailing by the court on this commercial property. The defendants have failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, we would ask for a default judgment at this time. Currently, there is rent retained possession is $12,961.66. There are other monies due, including late fees and taxes and insurance of $520. There are costs of $619.43 for a total of $14,101.09.
Thank you. Please submit your default judgment through OnBase. Anything else this morning?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Mr. Goldstein, I think I've gone through the entire 9 o'clock docket. If you want to go ahead into the breakout room.
No problem, Your Honor. I'm trying right now. Thank you. I haven't gotten the notice.
Oh, I thought they made you co-host. You can move yourself into your assigned breakout room.
Okay, thank you. And then come back to the courtroom, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Mr. George.
Your Honor, I believe he stepped away for a minute.
Thank you, Ms. McLemore.
that was amazing. That you got through those cases. Wow. I'm impressed.
I just need people to work with me.
Yes, we will. Just let me know. I apologize for interrupting you.
Don't apologize. I understand. It's just now they're in the breakout rooms. People will start popping back out, and hopefully we'll be done when I start making the announcements for the 10 o'clock.
Okay, good. Thank
We
you.
have 5 rounds of cases scheduled today, so
I see it was a lot. I saw there was quite a few. Yes.
but it's
All right,
gone
well-
down. It started at 120 something, and we're down to 76, I believe.
Oh, okay, great. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, let me know if I'm, tell me, check me, please, if I step out of place.
No,
Thank
I think
you.
we're all just working together trying to get this process moved out. We've only been doing it since December, so it's work in
Right.
progress.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Sandy,
Yes, Judge.
how are you this morning?
I am well, thank you. And you?
I am super.
Great.
If you would do me the biggest favor,
I can.
move those cases to the bench and I'll start noting the ones I am able to.
I will do that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Does Tuscan Manor and Water's Edge, do they need to go in the breakout room with their attorney?
They're not asked. If they pop back out, if the attorney pops back out and asks for them, I
Mhm.
haven't seen Mr. Asphalt come back out yet.
Okay.
Do you want to move them in there?
We probably could. I'll have Carly do that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yep, thank you.
I see you, Mr. Goodstein. Give me just one moment, please.
No problem, Judge.
We're back on the record in 2401558 Willow Glen versus Sudeth. I've noted your appearances. Mr. Goodstein, how are we proceeding in this matter?
Okay, Your Honor, there was a different case number. This is Houselander 1591.
Oh, I saw Mr. Sudeth back out. 2401591 Belleville Manor versus Jones and Hoslander.
Again, Your Honor, Harold Goodstein on behalf of the plaintiff. Your Honor, I spoke to Mr. Houselander. He's been making payments every week. He wants, we would like to adjourn it to March 20th at 9:45 if possible. Hopefully he'll have 2 more payments in by then. And at that point, we can enter into a conditional dismissal or a consent judgment.
It won't be 9:45, it will be 10 a.m. Mr. Hoslander, your case is being adjourned to March the 20th at 10 a.m. Notice will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. Is there anything else in this case, Mr. Goodstein?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Hoslander, anything before we adjourn this case?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, can I get Mr.
Thank you.
Houslander's cell phone number in case we need to get a hold of him?
Do you want to do that on the record or in the breakout?
Mr. Houselander?
Oh, I could give it to you now if that's okay.
That's fine. What is it?
734-796-0758.
Thank you.
Is that all, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. You're free to go. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you, Judge. I believe that completes mine.
No, Mr. Sudeth is back out.
Mr. Tennis is back out?
Jimmy Sudeth.
Yeah,
Oh.
no, that's the wrong
Oh,
person.
I'm sorry, Mr. Goodstein. That's not you. That's Mr. McCausland. I'm sorry.
So I think we're all set, Judge.
Have a good day.
You too. Good to see you.
Trying to give away cases.
No worries, no worries.
As soon as Mr. Sudeth comes out, I'm sorry, I keep messing this up. As soon as Mr. McCausland comes out, I'll get your case recalled.
All righty, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I just left the break room. Was talking to the attorney. He said that what did he say? He said that he talked to the landlord and they went through with the process, but she said it's not promised.
I don't know what that means.
She said that the SER is not promised because what I'm trying to say is she basically saying like she don't trust the SER, like they're not, she don't know if they're gonna come through or not. So I need a little bit more time. I am back working. I just
Ms.
got
Reinhardt, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
just 1 second. This is
Okay.
2401556. Ma'am, I'm adjourning your case over to next Wednesday. We're
Okay.
adjourning this case to next Wednesday for you to file the DC 539 form.
Where do I get it? Do I go to the courthouse and get it?
No, ma'am, you can get it online.
Get it online. Okay.
Court staff will walk you through what needs to happen.
Okay.
If you need us to, somebody will move you into a breakout room. There's a young man there. He will help you locate the form and get it submitted, okay? I will see you next Wednesday.
Okay, 9-4.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Mr. McCausland, this is 2401558. Mr. Sudduth, you had a chance to go into the breakout room. How are we proceeding this morning?
Good morning, Your Honor. We've agreed to enter the terms of a conditional dismissal, which will provide that he's going to pay $1,000 at least by March 20th and the remaining balance by March 27th. I'll prepare that form and submit it electronically to the court.
What's the total amount due, Mr. McCausland?
Please bear with me for a second.
Yes, sir.
The total amount due today, including court costs, is $1,991.93.
Thank you. Mr. Sudduth, were you able to hear Mr. McCausland just now?
Yeah, we agreed on that.
And sir, you were present when the video played that explained the legal rights you have available to you this morning.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have any questions about those rights?
No, ma'am.
Because you appear by Zoom, there's not a signed agreement. Have you authorized Mr. McCausland to sign your name to the agreement with the terms that were just placed on the record?
Yes, ma'am.
Then Mr. McCausland's office will prepare it, submit it to the court electronically. I will sign it and the court staff will mail a copy to you at the address we have on record. Do you have any questions about this morning's proceedings?
No, ma'am.
Then Mr. Sudduth, that concludes this matter. You're free to go, sir. You have a great day.
You too.
Thank you. This is a recall of 2401563 Willow Glen versus Robinson. The parties have gone into the breakout room. Mr. McCausland, how are we proceeding this morning?
Ms. Robinson made the March payment electronically while we were in the breakout room. She owes no further money for March, and so we'll be dismissing this case. I'll submit
Ms.
that.
Robinson, was that your understanding as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Then Mr. McCausland's office will be submitting a dismissal and this matter will be deemed concluded. Anything else this morning in this case, Mr. McCausland?
Nope, that's it.
Anything, Ms. Robinson?
That's everything.
Have a great day, ma'am. You're free to go.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
You
Have a great day, Your Honor. Thank you.
too, Mr. McCausland.
All right, bye.
Ms. Williams?
Hello?
Hi, ma'am. You had a chance to speak to Mr. Asphalt?
I did.
Did you reach an agreement?
We did.
Okay, I'm just waiting for him to come back out and we will place the terms of that agreement on the record, okay?
Okay, thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome.
And I'm gonna put my PTO in for Monday. Is Linda all set or? Oh, okay. I'm okay with the break. We had that other one. Thank you so much, sweetie. You're welcome. Now, you said you do have grandkids or not?
Good morning, Ms. Coolsey.
Good morning, Your Honor.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you?
I am super. You are the only attorney that we have scheduled at 10 o'clock. And what we've been doing is waiting to approximately quarter after to lock the room and play the advice of rights video. Our on base was down for a little bit yesterday. I checked this morning for dismissals. We still show you what I think about 12 cases going at 10 o'clock.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Other than that, ma'am, if there's something else you need to do for the next 15 minutes or so.
Okay, and also Attorney Ian Moore will also be signing in, so we'll tag team it. One of us will go in the breakout room to speak to the defendants, and then we'll have someone up in front of here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Asphalt, I'm sorry to interrupt your conversations, but I want to get some of these 9 o'clock people released. We're going to start at 10 o'clock here momentarily. And 2401483 LT, They'll Point versus Williams and Williams. How are we proceeding this morning?
Let me get that file, Your Honor. Okay, Judge, on this one, I spoke with, I believe it was Linda Williams. Yes. And we came to the terms of a consent judgment. Kenya Williams is not here, so I would propose a default judgment against her, but as to the exact same terms that I'm about to put on the record.
Thank you.
All right, so the parties are in agreement that the total amount due and owing is $1,760.01. The defendants are to pay $500 by March 22, and the balance of unpaid rent of $730.01 plus April's rent of $998 on or before April 5th, 2024. If any of those payments are missed, then plaintiff can file for an order of eviction. And the defendant, Linda Williams, has given me permission to sign her name to a consent judgment with those terms.
Okay, can you give me
Ms.
those?
Williams, were you able to? I'm sorry, go ahead, ma'am.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, well, I wrote the numbers down that you mentioned, but they're not the same. Okay, so I'm paying $500 March the 22nd, is that correct?
That is correct.
And then I have here, I'm paying $1,728.01 by April 5th.
Yeah, you said $1,728.01. That is correct. That's the grand total of those two payments. Yes.
Okay, so that'll be paid by the 5th.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, that's it.
So, Ms. Williams, you were here when the video played that explains the rights you have available to you this morning.
You know what? I didn't hear you. I'm sorry about that.
I said, ma'am, you were here when the video played explaining the rights you have available this morning.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Do you have any questions about your rights?
No.
Were the terms of the agreement placed on the record correct?
Yes.
And you've authorized Mr. Asphalt to sign your name?
Yes, I do.
Then he will submit a consent judgment with those terms. I will sign them, and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. Was there anything else, Ms. Williams?
No, ma'am, but I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
It's a recall of 2401488 LT Waters Edge versus Scherer, Fakori, and Shaja. The parties have had the opportunity to speak. Mr. Asphalt, how are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor. We have the terms of a consent judgment that I'd like to put on the record.
Yes, sir.
Parties are in agreement that there's currently due and owing, including all court costs, $1,765.29. The defendants are to pay $500 by March 15, and the balance of $1,265.27 by March 22. The defendant, Brittany Scherer, will be a consent judgment as to her. To the two non-appearing defendants, I would request entry of a default judgment with the same terms.
Thank you. Ms. Scherer, were you able to hear Mr. Asphalt just now?
Yes.
Were the terms that he just placed on the record correct?
Yes.
And ma'am, you were present when the video played that explained the rights you have available this morning?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about the rights available to you?
No, I don't.
Do you have any questions about the agreement that you reached with Mr. Asphalt?
No.
Then ma'am, the court will, Mr. Aswell's office will prepare a consent judgment with those terms. It will show as a default to the other two people who did not appear this morning, but the terms will be the same. I will
Okay.
sign it and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. Anything else in this case,
Okay.
Mr. Aswell?
Nothing.
Any questions, Ms. Scherer?
No,
Then ma'am, you're free to go. You have a great day.
thank you too.
Thank you. This is 2401487 Belleville Point versus Shante Johnson. The parties were in the breakout. Mr. Asquith, how are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, the parties are in agreement to the terms of a consent judgment. They are as follows. There's rent due and owing, including all court costs, $2,021.23. The defendant shall pay $800 by March 22nd, and the balance of $1,221.23 by March 31st. If the defendant fails to make either payment, then a writ can issue. And Ms. Johnson has given me permission to sign her name to a consent judgment with those terms and file it with the court.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson, were you able to hear Mr. Asquith just now?
Yes, I was, Your Honor.
And were the terms of the agreement he placed on the record correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And ma'am, you were present when the video played that explained the rights you have available this morning.
Yes, I was.
Do you have any questions about those rights?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about today's proceedings?
No,
Do you have any questions about the consent judgment?
no, I agree to the consent judgment.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson, Mr. Asquith's office will prepare a consent judgment with those terms submitted to the court electronically. I will sign it and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. Anything else, Ms. Johnson?
No, I'm all set, Your Honor. Thank you very much, and I hope
You have a great
good,
day, ma'am.
good rest of your day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Mr. Asquith, I know you still have someone in your breakout room. If you get it done before 10:15, come back out. Otherwise, I'll take the resolution or adjourn the case after the 10 o'clock docket, after the 10 o'clock advice of rights video plays, okay?
I do have two more ready to go right now if you wanted to do them.
Oh, yeah, grab them.
That one is Tuscan Manor versus Gabriel Hawkins.
They didn't come out of the breakout room. That's why I didn't think they were ready. Okay.
I just moved them, Judge.
Two 2401625. Tuscan Manor versus Hawkins. The parties had been in the breakout room. Mr. Asquith, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we have the terms of a consent judgment. They are as follows. The parties are in agreement that there's rent due and owing of $1,160.54. The defendant is to pay that amount on or before March 25th, or a writ can issue. He's given me permission to sign his name to a consent judgment with those terms.
Mr. Hawkins, were you able to hear Mr. Asquith just now?
Yes, ma'am.
Were the terms he just placed on the record correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And sir, you were present when the video played explaining the rights you had available this morning.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about the rights you have in these proceedings?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions about the consent judgment?
No, Your Honor.
Then Mr. Asquith's office will prepare a consent judgment with the terms that were just placed on the record. I will sign it and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. Anything at all, Mr. Hawkins?
No. Thank you.
Then sir, that concludes this case. You're free to go. You have a great day.
All right. Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
And
What else did you have, Mr.?
Belleville Point versus Lacinta Hall.
No, that was adjourned to the 20th at 9:45. She's filing the 539 and she was meeting with Lakeshore.
Okay. Okay, so I have a couple more defendants apparently that I go back into the breakout room and speak with.
Do you?
Or the last two cases I have are Belleville Point versus Calvin Jackson. I don't know if he Maybe a non-appearance.
Calvin Jackson?
Yes.
I don't see that. Do
Oh,
you happen
know
to have the
what,
case
Judge?
number handy?
Yeah, we already have I think you already granted a default judgment on that one. The case numbers.
That was I called that at 9:27. We went over that. Thank you, Mr. Asphalt.
And that's maybe Janice Randall. That's probably the same thing. Let me just verify it.
Yes, sir. We took that default at 9:27.
Gotcha. So I guess that's everything for me then.
Pleasure to see you, sir. You have a great day.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
To the parties that are here for the 10 o'clock docket call, in a few minutes, there will be a short video that plays that explains the rights you have available to you. After that video ends, every case that is scheduled for this morning will be called. Please have your video, be prepared to turn your video on, unmute yourself, and state your name for the record. You will have the opportunity to meet with a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid if you're looking for the assistance of an attorney this morning. You will also have the opportunity to speak to either your landlord's representative or the attorney for your landlord. Good morning, Mr. Morton.
Morning, Your Honor.
How are you, sir?
Just continuing to have the challenges of a small child adjusting to the time change. Other than that, I'm doing wonderful.
A small child?
Was it, well, I guess the better definition, she's a large child, but yes, she's
Two?
yeah, just over 2 years old, but she is not, so I like to say she's not frail, and she's a sturdy build and a very strong, independent young lady already.
Those 2 years have flown by. Oh my goodness. It does not appear that there's anyone waiting in the clerk's office to be identified. Everyone has been properly labeled. That can't be right. I only see 2 tenants here. That can't be right. It is. Carly, if you would be kind enough to start the advice of rights video, please.
Welcome to the 34th District Court. Please listen carefully for information about your rights and resources that may be available to assist you. Please have paper and a pen handy. You have the right to hire an attorney to represent you. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you may qualify for legal aid assistance. There may be a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid available today to speak with you, or you can contact them at 888-783-8190. You have the right to have your case heard in the proper venue. If the property is not located in the 34th District, you can ask the court to transfer your case to the district where the property, or any part of it, is located. You have the right to demand a jury trial. If you want a jury trial, you must tell the court today or make the demand in writing within 5 days of today's hearing. You can use Form MC-22 Jury Demand and file it with the court. You must pay $50 when you make your demand, or within 5 days of the court advising you of this right. You do not have to pay the jury fee if you have asked the court to waive fees and the court has approved your request under MCR 2.002. If your landlord has asked for you to be evicted from a residential property because you haven't paid rent, you may be able to get assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, MDHHS, a local coordinated entry agency, a housing assessment and resource agency, or a federal Help for Homeless Veterans program. You should have received information on local rental and housing assistance with the summons. You do not need a judgment against you to receive help from the places listed above. A copy of the summons and complaint from your case are enough. If your case is for non-payment and you have already applied for assistance from one of these agencies, be sure to let the court clerk or the judge know when your case is called. You will be required to submit written proof to the court within 5 days of today's hearing. Your landlord-tenant case can be resolved in a number of ways. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through a Michigan or local community dispute resolution program. You can find a program at courts.my.gov/CDRP. You may also reach an agreement with the landlord that will mean the case gets dismissed. A conditional dismissal is possible when approved by all parties. You can use Form DC 508, Consent Order for Conditional Dismissal, Landlord-Tenant, and file it with the court. Information about your other rights and the legal process is available through Michigan Legal Help at www.michiganlegalhelp.org. Additional information on legal resources, housing assistance programs, and court forms are available on our website at www.mi34thdistrictcourt.com/department/civil. Thank you for your attention. Your case will be called shortly.
This is 2401567 LT Holiday Woods versus Stacy Gregorio. Please unmute yourself, turn your video on, and state your name for the record.
Okay.
Take your cap off.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm here for representing Stacy Gregorio for
Your
29
name?
Birch Court. My name is Brian Ransom.
I'm sorry, Brian, last name is?
Ransom, Ransome.
And Mr. Ransom, how are you connected to this property?
She is my fiance.
I'm sorry?
I stay at the property. I stay at the property. I live there?
You're an occupant, or did you sign the lease?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I can't allow you to represent someone else unless you're an attorney in the state of Michigan. But if you're an occupant, I'm happy to put you in to speak to a representative from Holiday Woods. Has there been an application for rental assistance filed?
No, ma'am. My lease is up at the end of the month. And from my understanding, Stacy and Holiday Woods have spoken. I'm currently 2 months behind. They were going to take the security deposit,
Mr. Ransom,
and use that towards.
I'm
Yes,
cutting
ma'am.
you, sir, I'm cutting you off just so you can go in and speak to them. There will be someone present
Okay.
who will know that information about the status of it. And if you reach an agreement, you'll come back out. Otherwise, we'll figure out we'll figure out how to proceed, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There's an invitation to go into a breakout room. Please go there. This is 2401570 LT Holiday Woods versus Kayla Hanks.
Hello,
State your name for me, please, ma'am.
Kayla Hanks.
Ms. Hanks, have you made an application for rental assistance?
No,
Would you like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid?
I was actually looking at the human resources that they gave us on the summit. So I was looking into MDHHS already, but I just didn't fill out the application yet.
Ms. Hanks, my question was, would you like to speak to someone from Lakeshore Legal Aid, or would you like to speak to the representative for Holiday Woods?
Lakeshore is fine.
Okay, we'll move you into a breakout room with them. You'll have the opportunity to speak with one of their representatives, and we will adjourn this case over to March the 20th at 10 a.m. But you will
Okay.
see an invitation to go into the breakout room to meet with Lakeshore, okay?
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
This is 2401568. Oh, this might be the person that's in the, there's somebody in our waiting room, Ms. Kuzi. But we'll go down to 2401569 LT Holiday Woods versus Amanda Haas. This case was scheduled at 10 o'clock. It's now 10:22. The defendant has failed to appear. How are we proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor, we'd be requesting a default possession judgment. Rent to retain is $2,000. $453.22, cost of $190.24, for a total balance of $2,643.46, with a writ to issue after 10 days.
Thank you, ma'am. Please submit it through Unbase. This is 2401575 LT Holiday Woods versus Presley Hughes. This case was scheduled at 10 o'clock. It's now 10:23. The defendant has failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
We are requesting a default possession judgment. Rent to retain is $2,337.87. Cost of $190.24, for a total balance of $2,528.11, with a writ to issue after 10 days.
Thank you. Please submit your default judgment. This is 2401578 LT Holiday Woods versus Savannah McEwen. This case was scheduled at 10 o'clock. It's now 10:23 by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
We are requesting a default possession judgment. Rent to retain is $1,071.67. Cost of $190.24, for a total balance of $1,261.91, with a writ to issue after 10 days.
Thank you, ma'am. Please submit your default judgment through Unbase 2401579 LT Holiday Woods versus Brian Phillips. This case was scheduled at 10 o'clock. It's now 10:24 by the court's clock. Defendant has failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
We are requesting a default possession judgment. Rent to retain is $2,607.41. Cost of $190.24, for a total balance of $2,797.65, with a writ to issue after 10 days.
Thank you, ma'am. Please submit your default through Unbase. This is 2401580 LT Holiday Woods versus Kathy Profit. Case was scheduled at 10 o'clock. It's now 10:24 by the court's clock. Defendant has failed to appear. How would you like to proceed this morning?
We are requesting a default possession judgment. Rent to retain is $877.78. Cost of $190.24, for a total balance of $1,068.02, with a writ to issue after 10 days.
Thank you, ma'am. Please submit your default judgment through Unbase. This is 2401581 LT Holiday Woods versus Carmen Richardson. The case was scheduled at 10 o'clock. It's now 10:25 by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
We are requesting a default possession judgment. Rent to retain is $1,006.18. Cost of $190.24, for a total balance of $1,196.42, with a writ to issue after 10 days.
Thank you, ma'am. Please submit your default through Unbase. This is 2401583 LT Holiday Woods versus Zaya Rugg. This case was scheduled at 10 o'clock. It's now 10:25 by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
We are requesting a default possession judgment. Rent to retain is $896.17. Cost of $190.24, for a total balance of $1,086.41, with a writ to issue after 10 days.
Thank you, ma'am. Please submit your default through Unbase. This is 2401588 LT Holiday Woods versus Timothy Zimmer. Case was scheduled at 10 o'clock. It's now 10:26 by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
We are requesting a default possession judgment. Rent to retain is $2,670.18. Cost of $190.24, for a total balance of $2,860.42, with a writ to issue after 10 days.
I'm sorry, ma'am. You said $2,670 what dollars?
And $70.18.
70 even. Okay. Please submit your default through Unbase. This is 2401568 LT Holiday Woods versus Norman Grinstead.
Judge, Mr. Grinstead is here. He was the Norman's iPhone.
I know, that's why I'm calling the case now.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. You're fine. Mr. Grinstead, please unmute yourself, turn your video on and state your name.
Norman Grinstead Jr., Norman Leonard Grinstead Jr.
Thank you, sir. You missed the video that we played that explains the rights available to you. So please be advised that you have the right to hire an attorney. If you cannot pay for one, the court must give you information about any legal aid assistance there might be for your area. Please, you have the right to have your case heard in the county or district where the property or any part of it is located. Please look at item 3 on the summons that was served upon you. If your landlord, the plaintiff, has checked the box saying that the case is not being brought where the premises is located, you may ask the court to transfer the case to the county or district where the property or any part of it is. You can ask the court to move the case by filing a request or motion in writing before the court date listed on the summons and ask the court in person at the first court hearing. You have the right to demand a jury trial. If you want a jury trial, you must tell the court at your first court appearance or make the demand in writing within 5 days of the court explaining your right to a jury trial. You must use Form MC-22, jury demand, and file it with the court. You must pay a fee of $50 when you make your demand or within 5 days of the court explaining your right to a jury trial. You do not have to pay the jury fee if you have asked the court to waive fees and the court has approved your request under MCR 2.002. If your landlord has asked for you to be evicted from a residential property because you have not paid rent, you may be able to get legal assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, a local coordinated entry agency, a housing assessment and resource agency, a federal help for homeless veterans program. You should have received information on local rental and housing assistance with the summons. You do not need a judgment against you to receive help from the places just listed. A copy of the summons and complaint from your case are enough. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through a Michigan or local community dispute resolution program. Information about these programs was included in the service of the summons and complaint. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord that will mean the case gets dismissed. The court must provide you with a form for this or tell you where to find one. Mr. Grinstead, have you made application for rental assistance?
Yes, I've applied through Wayne Metro and I have applied through United Way and I got denied. I got accepted through the DTE program. I have to make a $300 payment through DTE and they're going to cover the rest. And with the rental assistance and the cash assistance, I got denied. I tried to apply for unemployment. I got denied with that. They said something about my wages or whatnot. I am obtaining a job right now. I'm in the midst of waiting for the onboarding to finish and
Mr. Grinstead, I'm interrupting you not because I'm not interested, but because there's a process for these things. And if you have not applied for rental assistance, or you've been applied and you've been denied, my next question to you would be, do you want the opportunity to speak to someone from Lakeshore Legal Aid about advice or possible representation this morning?
yes.
Okay. Then, Mr. Grinstead, the next thing that'll happen is that you'll be moved into the room, the breakout room where someone from Lakeshore Legal Aid is available to you. Your case will be adjourned to March the 28th. I'm sorry, March the 20th at 10 a.m. And a copy of that new date and time will be sent to you at the address we have on record. Okay?
Okay.
So court staff is now going to send you a invitation or a pop-up to go into the breakout room to meet with Lakeshore.
I appreciate.
Thank you, sir. Oh, I missed one. 2401497 LT Holiday Woods versus Noel Gladys, GLADYSZ. The case was scheduled at 10 o'clock. It's now 10:31 by the court's clock. Defendant has failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
We are requesting a default possession judgment. Rent to retain is $2,357.37. Cost of $190.24 for a total balance of $2,547.61. The writ to issue after 10 days.
Thank you, ma'am. Please submit that through OnBase. I think that's it. If you want to go in with Ms. Hanks.
Yes, I will.
Or whatever arrangement you have with Mr. Morton, I'll stay out of it.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you. This is a recall of 2401567 LT Holiday Woods versus Gregorio. Mr. Ransom is here as an occupant of the property. The parties have spoken. Mr. Morton, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, I did have a chance to speak to Mr. Ransom. I advised, we confirmed that he is not the signed leaseholder, but he is living there. Their intent is to be able to vacate at the end of the month. We intend to move forward to seek a default judgment for possession. However, we will adjust the writ date to March 29th, 2024, which will give till the end of the month. I advised Mr. Ransom that this would be entered as a default as to Ms. Gregorio. It'll be in a reference in the further orders that Mr. Ransom appeared, but he's not being added as a party. Additionally, Your Honor, again, this is a possession only action. And as I advised them, if possession is turned over by the 29th, then an order of eviction will not enter and will not process.
Thank you. But Mr. Morton, just so our records are clear on this, and this was a non-payment of rent case, what is the rent to retain possession?
Rents retained $2,387.05, court costs of $190.24, for a total of $2,577.29. And I'll clarify for the record, so Mr. Ransom can hear us as well. This is what's called a possession only action, which means this is not a money judgment. The only thing this amount provides my client the opportunity to do is to be able to obtain those funds to be able to let you continue with the tenancy. If those funds are not received, and possession is not turned over, then they may move forward with the order of eviction. But if possession is turned over or the payment is made, then the case will not move forward and no order of eviction will proceed. And that amount cannot be used for any other actions, i.e. they cannot use these funds to go after tax returns, bank accounts, or anything like that, because this is a possession only action.
Did you understand that explanation, Mr. Ransom?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Do you understand these proceedings this morning?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Do you have any questions at all?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Then Mr. Ransom, you are free to go, sir. You have a great day.
You as well, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a recall of 2401570 Holiday Woods versus Hanks.
Your Honor, for the record, Attorney Ian Morton of Palace Law on behalf of the plaintiff.
Ms. Hanks, did you go in and speak to Lakeshore Legal Aid?
No,
If I may, Your Honor.
Absolutely.
I was going to say, I spoke to Ms. Hanks briefly. We confirmed she made the remaining payment just recently. So I spoke to my client. We will be moving forward to dismiss this case.
Any objection to the case being dismissed, Ms. Hanks?
No.
And ma'am, you're free to go. You do not need to appear again in this matter. You have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's it for the 10 o'clock docket.
Wonderful.
Ms. Kuzi did a fantastic job in getting those defaults on the record.
She learned from me, so I'd hope so.
Then that being the case, our next docket starts at 11 o'clock. So this court will stand in recess until that time. Thank you.
Yep, Your Honor, I believe our next docket with the court as well is in the afternoon at 2 o'clock, according to my records too. So
I'll see you at 2 o'clock.
thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good morning, this is Judge Martin. This is courtroom number one. Today's docket is landlord-tenant cases. If you do not have a landlord and tenant case, you may be in the wrong place. You may send a message to either Carly or Malachi. Those are court staff members who will help you get where you are supposed to be. At approximately 11:15, there will be a short video that plays that explains the legal rights you have available to you this morning. There are also representatives present from Lakeshore Legal Aid if you want the assistance of an attorney this morning. Otherwise, at the conclusion of the video, each case will be called. You will have an opportunity to meet with either the Lakeshore Legal Aid staff or the attorney for your landlord. If you have made an application for rental assistance, there is a form that you need to complete called a DC 539. A copy of that form is in the chat. Otherwise, court staff are available who will help you locate the form on the court's website. Again, at approximately 11:15, this session will start. Every case will be called. When your case is called, be prepared to turn your video on, unmute yourself, and state your name for the record. It appears that we have one person in the breakout room with court staff, but that case is being dismissed. So Carly, if you would be kind enough to start the advice of rights video, please.
The court's on my phone right now.
Welcome to the 34th District Court. Please listen carefully for information about your rights and resources that may be available to assist you. Please have paper and a pen handy. You have the right to hire an attorney to represent you. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you may qualify for legal aid assistance. There may be a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid available today to speak with you, or you can contact them at 888-783-8190. You have the right to have your case heard in the proper venue. If the property is not located in the 34th District, you can ask the court to transfer your case to the district where the property, or any part of it, is located. You have the right to demand a jury trial. If you want a jury trial, you must tell the court today or make the demand in writing within 5 days of today's hearing. You can use Form MC-22 Jury Demand and file it with the court. You must pay $50 when you make your demand, or within 5 days of the court advising you of this right. You do not have to pay the jury fee if you have asked the court to waive fees and the court has approved your request under MCR 2.002. If your landlord has asked for you to be evicted from a residential property because you haven't paid rent, you may be able to get assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, MDHHS, a local coordinated entry agency, a housing assessment and resource agency, or a federal help for homeless veterans program. You should have received information on local rental and housing assistance with the summons. You do not need a judgment against you to receive help from the places listed above. A copy of the summons and complaint from your case are enough. If your case is for non-payment and you have already applied for assistance from one of these agencies, be sure to let the court clerk or the judge know when your case is called. You will be required to submit written proof to the court within 5 days of today's hearing. Your landlord-tenant case can be resolved in a number of ways. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through a Michigan or local community dispute resolution program. You can find a program at courts.my.gov/CDRP. You may also reach an agreement with the landlord that will mean the case gets dismissed. A conditional dismissal is possible when approved by all parties. You can use Form DC-508, Consent Order for Conditional Dismissal, Landlord-Tenant, and file it with the court. Information about your other rights and the legal process is available through Michigan Legal Help at www.michiganlegalhelp.org. Additional information on legal resources, housing assistance programs, and court forms are available on our website at www.mi34thdistrictcourt.com/department/civil. Thank you for your attention. Your case will be called shortly.
This is 2401506 LT West Village Estates versus Paul Durham. Mr. Durham, turn your video on, unmute yourself and state your name for the record.
This is the case for Regina Brown. I don't know who Paul is.
No. I'm not calling your case yet. Please give me one moment. 2401506 Paul Durham.
I'll be risk plaintiff, Your Honor.
He's not responding. 2401540 LT West Village Estates versus Joseph Pankow and Brittany Pankow.
There you go. Hello.
Ma'am, state your name for me, please.
Brittany Pankow.
Ms. Pankow, where is Joseph Pankow?
I'm not sure. We are currently going through a divorce right now.
Thank you, ma'am. Have you made an application for rental assistance?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, the next step in these proceedings is that you need to file a form that is called a DC 539. Would you like the opportunity to speak to Lakeshore Legal Aid this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
Then Ms. Panko, your case will be adjourned to March the 20th at 10 a.m. The first thing that will happen is that you will go in to a breakout room with court staff who will help you locate the form that needs to be filed. And then after that, you will go in and meet with a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid. A notice with that new date and time, that March 20th, 10 a.m. date, will be mailed to you at the address we have on record, okay?
Okay.
Okay, watch the screen for the pop-up to go in with Lakeshore Legal Aid. Mr. Durham, when you stop driving, I will recall your case. This is 2401546LT, West Village versus Leon Spencer and Regina Brown. Please state your names for the record.
Jeremy and Regina Brown.
Who's that?
Just talk.
Oh, Regina Brown.
Thank you. Have you made application for rental assistance?
No, but we paid.
No, but I paid month to month.
Is it paid? Is the account paid in its entirety? Have you paid everything off?
No, it's not.
No.
Would you like the opportunity to speak to Lakeshore Legal Aid this morning?
What?
Lawyer.
Speak to who?
There are attorneys available to speak with tenants. Would you like to speak to them, or would you like to go in and speak to the attorney for West Village Estates?
Speak to the attorney.
Speak to the attorney
For West Village.
for West Village Estates.
Then you'll go into a breakout room. Someone from that office will be there momentarily, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
This is 2401553LT, West Village Estates versus Dallas. Please unmute yourself, turn your video on, and state your name for the record.
Hello, Randy Tallis.
Mr. Tallis, have you made an application for rental assistance?
No, ma'am, I paid in full this morning.
Your Honor, I do see my client is nodding. Is that correct?
Yes, he paid in full a little bit ago. Yes, he did.
Okay, so can we dismiss this?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Tallis, I'll make an indication in the file that the case is being dismissed. You're free to go. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you, too.
Thank you. Ms. Samples, thank you for your help. This is 2401501LT. This is West Village versus Chandler. Ms. Williams, if you'd like to turn your video on, state your name for the record, please.
Yes, ma'am. Keisha Williams.
And where is Deborah Chandler?
Currently at physical therapy.
I'm sorry?
Currently at physical therapy.
Thank you. Ma'am, have you made an application for rental assistance?
No, ma'am, I have not.
Would you like to speak to a rep?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I have not made an application. However, I am almost prepared to pay it all. It kind of came as a shock. This was kind of a series of unfortunate events.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. You're listed as an occupant. Did you sign a lease for West Village Estates?
I am on her lease, yes, as an occupant.
Would you like to speak to a representative from Lakeshore Legal Aid this morning? Or would you like to speak with the attorney for West Village Estates?
I think I can just go straight to West Village.
Okay, we'll get you moved into a breakout room. He will be there momentarily.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Durham, I am not going to call the case until you're not driving, until you're parked. This court will deem you in default here shortly. Mr. Risk, is it Risk?
Yes.
If you want to go in and speak to the other tenants, I'll take your defaults, or if Ms. Korabi's coming back, I'll take the defaults for Levine's office after you've had a chance to speak to the tenants who are here.
I don't believe Ms. Korabi was coming back. I was held up in another court. I just had her start here today. So I'm sorry about that. So
No, You're fine. Go into your breakout room, talk to your other people. I'll take your defaults when you're done with the people who are in there.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. May you
If Miss-
please put my client with me?
Absolutely. Court staff will help you get moved in there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. This is 24-01506 LT West Village versus Paul Durham. Mr. Durham, state your name for me, sir.
Paul Durham.
Sir, have you made application for rental assistance?
No.
Would you like to speak to a representative for Lakeshore Legal Aid this morning, or are you prepared to go in and speak to the attorney for West Village?
Prepared to go in and speak to the attorney for West Village.
He'll be in there momentarily. Court staff will get you moved into that room. Thank you.
Right.
Oh, Mr. Risk, I'm not sure why they didn't make you a co-host so you can move yourself around. Let's get him moved in with his tenants and his client, please. Yeah, I know. When I leaned over to yell down, you, somebody was there.
Hello?
Yes, sir. This is, oh, return with your parties.
I left them behind.
No, it's okay.
Well, we
Were
got
you able to
agreements.
speak to all three of them?
Yeah, and we were able to work out agreements on all of them. I'll state the terms on there.
Okay.
Yeah,
24-01506 with Mr. Durham. How are we proceeding?
we are entering into a consent judgment. He is to pay $1,612.96 in rent, $181.64 in court costs, for a total of $1,794.64 on or before March 25th.
Mr. Durham, were you able to hear the attorney just now?
Yeah.
And was what he just placed on the record accurate?
Yes.
You saw the video this morning regarding the rights available to you.
Yes.
Do you have any questions about those rights?
No.
Do you have any questions about today's proceedings?
No.
Do you have any questions about the consent judgment?
No.
Then Mr. Risk's office will prepare a consent judgment with those terms, submit it to the court for entry. A copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. Is there anything else, Mr. Durham?
No. That'll be it.
Thank you for your patience this morning, sir. You have a great day.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Thank you. 24-01501. This is West Village versus Chandler. Mr. Risk was in the breakout room with the occupant, Ms. Williams. How are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, we would like to enter into a conditional dismissal that Mrs. Chandler will have the money paid on or before the 29th, and that's $2,463.42 in back rent, $181.68 in court cost, for a total of $2,645.10.
Yeah, people can be acting like that.
I'm sorry, Mr. Risk, I'm not sure how you enter a conditional dismissal when Ms. Chandler's not present.
Your Honor, I believe her daughter is present on her behalf.
Yes, ma'am.
Not on her behalf. She can't enter an agreement for Ms. Risk. She can enter an agreement for herself if she's added to the complaint in this matter, but unless she's a licensed attorney, she can't represent Ms. Chandler's interest.
Okay, Your Honor, if we were to.
I'm happy to enter I can do one of two things, sir. I can enter as a default as to Ms. Chandler, or we can adjourn it over to next Wednesday at 10 a.m. and Ms. Chandler can appear for herself.
Well, okay, if we do the default, can we do it for a writ date of the 29th?
Yes,
Okay, is that fine?
we'll do it that way.
Yes,
Okay.
the 29th it will be taken care
Ms.
of.
Williams, do you understand what I just indicated on the record?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, the terms will be the same. I just can't allow you to represent the interests of someone else unless you're an
Okay.
attorney here in the state of Michigan, or you add yourself to this case. So we'll
Okay.
take it as a default. The pay date will stay the same as March the 29th.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, you have a good day, Ms. Williams.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
24-01546 West Village versus Spencer and Brown. The parties have had the opportunity to meet in the breakout room. How are we proceeding in this matter?
Your Honor, we are entering into a consent judgment on this matter with the writ date of March 25th for $791.59 in back rent, $231.71 in court costs, for a total of $1,023.30 to be paid on or before March 25th.
Mr. Spencer and Ms. Brown, were you able to hear Mr. Risk just now?
Yes,
Were the terms he placed on the record accurate?
yes,
You were here when the video played that explained the rights you have available this morning?
yes.
Do you have any questions about the rights available to you?
Rental assistance?
What do rental assistance mean?
You make an application to an agency that will provide you money to pay the back rent. That's what rental assistance is.
Got you.
Do you have any questions about the consent judgment that will enter in this case?
No.
The Mr. Risk office will prepare it, submit it to the court electronically. I will sign it and a copy will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. If there's nothing else, you have a great day.
Okay. You
Thank
too.
you.
You're welcome.
And Mr. Risk, 2401499 LT West Village versus James Bevel. Case is scheduled at 11 a.m. It's 11:49. The defendants failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, I would like to request a writ of default.
The amounts due, sir?
Sorry, $2,340.90, $181.68 in court costs for a total of $2,522.58.
Thank you, sir. This is 2401502 West Village versus David Chernosky. Again, the case was scheduled at 11 a.m. It's now 11:49 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendants failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, I'd like to enter into, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I'm been in court since 8:30. Your Honor, I'd like to request a writ of default on this matter. And the amount owed is $1,541.98 in back rent, $181.68 in court costs, for a total of $1,723.66.
Thank you. 2401505 West Village versus Lamonte Davis and Angelica Muno. Case was scheduled at 11 a.m. It's now 11:50 a.m. by the court's clocks. Defendants have failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, I'd like to move for an entry of default. I have $1,518.64 in back rent, $231.71 in court costs, for a total of $1,750.35.
2401508 West Village versus Suzanne Foster. Case was scheduled at 11 a.m. It's now 11:50 by the court's clock. Defendants failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, the tenant has made payment in full. This case will be dismissed.
Thank you, sir. 2401510 West Village versus Rianne Fox and Roy Fox, scheduled at 11 a.m. It's now 11:51. Defendants have failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, on this, I'm sorry, Your Honor, this is the Fox matter.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, this case will also be dismissed. The tenants have came in and paid in full.
Thank you. 2401513 West Village versus Dustin Henson, scheduled at 11 a.m. It's now 11:51 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant has failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, we'd like to move for an entry of default. I have $2,414.89 in back rent, $181.68 in court costs, for a total of $2,596.57.
Thank you, sir. 2401514 West Village versus Shamara Hill Harris, scheduled at 11 a.m. It's now 11:52 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, I would like to request a default on this one as well. I have $1,568.95 in back rent, $181.68 in court costs, for a total of $1,750.63.
2401539 West Village versus Samantha Nestler and Michelle Nestler. Case was scheduled 11 a.m. It's now 11:52 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendants have failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, I'd like to move for default. I have $1,494.89 in and back rent, $231.
I'm sorry, Mr. Riss, start again. 1,400.
$1,494.89 in back rent, $231.71 in court costs, for a total rate to retain $1,726.60.
Thank you. 2401555 West Village versus Melissa Vaughn and Thomas Vaughn. The case was scheduled at 11 a.m. It's now 11:53 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendants have failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, this matter is dismissed. They have paid in full.
2401559 LT West Village versus Courtney Watts, scheduled at 11 a.m. It's now 11:53 a.m. Defendant has failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, this matter was also dismissed as well. The tenants have paid.
Thank you. 2401564 LT West Village Estates versus Warren Wiltfong and Sarah Wiltfong, scheduled at 11 a.m. It's now 11:53 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendants have failed to appear. How would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, we would like to move for an entry of default on this matter. I have $2,235 in back rent, $231.71 in court costs, for a total of $2,466.71.
Thank you. Mr. Risk, all of your default judgments may be submitted to the court through Unbase. The court will sign them and copies will be mailed out to your office. Is there anything else this morning?
Your Honor, I did have one other matter. This was case number 24-01529, and that's West Village Estates versus Alicia Israel and Sheba Israel. Do you have that on your docket this morning?
I'm sorry, 1529,
1529, yes.
scheduled at what time?
This was scheduled for March 13th at 11 a.m. I believe it may have been 1 p.m. previously. I'm not sure if it got moved.
Judge, that's scheduled at 1 p.m.
Is it at 1 p.m.? Okay.
Thank you, Curly. It is scheduled at 1 p.m.
Gotcha. I'll have someone at my office appear. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Have a good
You
day,
have a-
sir.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Your
you.
Honor. Have a great
Good
day.
to see you, ma'am. Ms. McLemore,
Yes, Your Honor.
your people are still in the breakout room. This court will be in recess till 1 o'clock. I'll leave the Zoom up. They can keep speaking to whoever they're speaking to. But court staff is going on their way, as am I.
Okay, and so that particular case, I think Pankow, I believe it was adjourned, is it adjourned to March 20th?
It is adjourned to March 20th at 10 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a great day.
Thank you, ma'am. You
Okay,
too.
bye-bye.